Hello, welcome. I'm not sure if this is going to be a cancer journey or a climate journey post, but I'm going to start and I'll figure out where it goes after I finish. I'm definitely feeling moved to speak today about balance. Timmy came home a week ago from his stem cell transplant. It'll be a week tomorrow. And I'm just feeling really deeply how our bodies, our families, all the people in our family as a unit, and our family is like a small system that reflects, I think, the larger systems that we function in and live in, that we are like striving to reach balance, striving to reach this center point where everything kind of lines up just right, and that all the parts of the unit feel like they hit the right stride or the right chord, and they're in harmony with each other. And I think before Tim came home from his stem cell transplant, we were all nervous. What's it going to be like? He feels like a newborn baby. There's an airplane going overhead. I hope you can hear me. It was just like the newness, the vulnerability of his body because of having his entire immune system like wiped out, and then with the stem cells, it's now being rebuilt. Just a lot of unknowns, and he's been in really a tough place recently. So coming home this time, we just weren't sure. And this past week, I think, went as well as it could have. Tim's going through a lot of adjustment. I mean, he's sleeping a ton. Last night he went to bed at 6 o'clock. He had dialysis yesterday, and after a day of dialysis, he's really wiped out anyways, but many times I've just seen him like slumped over the kitchen table, just sleeping after he eats a small meal. And he's like, I can't even describe how tired I am. I set up he moved his recliner chair into the sunroom, and was just like soaking in the heat and the warmth of the sun. And when my dad was sick, my dad had Parkinson's, and when he would come to stay with us, he loved our sunroom because the heat in the middle of the winter just penetrated to his bones. And that's kind of been a space Timmy's been gravitating towards as well for that very reason. And our girls one has a really, she has a propensity towards like feeling her feelings deeply and expressing them deeply, and then they move on and move out, and she moves on. My other one tends to get really busy, and her feelings sort of like come out sideways, and then catch up with her, and kind of can create some hard moments from time to time. So this week I was sort of threatening, like, you need to go see somebody, you need to talk about this, like, you can't be doing this is not comfortable to be around, it's not good for our home. And I talked with the child life specialist. She's an oncology child life specialist who's been super helpful to us, and she said, you remember that time when you took your daughters out for pizza? And I was like, yeah, I do remember that. And she said, I just remember how good that was for you guys. And maybe that's just what she needs. So she didn't say it exactly those words, but that's what I took from it. And so I texted my daughter and I said, we're going for a date. Maybe counseling later, but we're gonna go for a date this weekend. And I took her out for pizza last night, and we had an awesome time. It was lovely. She was making me laugh hysterically. We didn't talk about cancer. We didn't talk about, anything really. And that was just fine. It was just perfect. It was perfect medicine. Pizza is perfect medicine for most any occasion, and a one-on-one date with your kid, I highly recommend it. So, but this morning I got up, and I'm not usually the one that makes breakfast in the mornings. Tim usually does that. He's tends to be really good at it. But actually I can cook too if I want to. So this morning I made this German pancake. I don't know if you know what a German pancake is, but holy cow, this thing was amazing. It was just like eggs and some sugar and flour and milk and vanilla. I think that's it. And you mix it all together and you put it in a very well buttered pan and cook it in the oven like at 450, and then you bring it down to 350, and then you pull it out and it's just like fluffy and poofy on the edges and just so delicious. But we all sat around breakfast and it felt like normal. It felt like somebody took time to cook something with love and care, and we all were sitting there at the table just enjoying it. And it just brings me back to like that's a balance point for us as a family, is like sitting around the table eating a simple but really tasty meal made with lovely ingredients and made with love, and I was like, oh, I can do this. Like, I can put my Martha Stewart on. Like, I can bring this back to our family. And like, I was thinking about how, I think one of the hard things about when somebody's sick is that the stuff they usually do, they're not doing anymore. And so there's this huge void. And this morning I was reflecting on the feeling of that void and like, oh, if I just cook something nice and I cook it with love and I really put some love into it, didn't take a ton of time, but I really put love into it and thoughtfulness into it, like that's filling that void for our family unit. And so and I felt Tim just sitting there watching, and I thought, it must be nice to watch somebody else cook with the same kind of love and attention that you usually cook with. So yeah, it was a simple thing, and I can do that more often, to bring some of that balance back to our family unit. Tending to our animals with the same kind of love and attention Tim puts into that is like another way of bringing that balance back. And it's just making me think a lot about balance and how when something's out of balance, and things had been out of balance for a long time with this exacerbation of multiple myeloma in his body. And so there was a lot of grating and rubbing and fighting and arguing and, it's just like we were all trying to find our way back to this place that felt like home for us, that felt like peace, that felt like a center point where we all felt good and good being together. And we couldn't find that for a long time. And, so yeah, I think I'm just going to be more mindful of looking for like, what are the other ways where things feel a little off, and how can I help restore balance to that? And I know personally for myself, my body, one of those areas is exercise for sure. I don't think I've really exercised a whole lot since for a long time. When you have a farm, exercise gets relegated to like farm chores. Okay, I did my exercise, I moved around, but I used to go for like a half an hour walk every day at lunch. I haven't been doing that. So I need that for myself, and my body will very much appreciate me for that. So I'm just gonna like contemplate on that more today and in this week to come, to look at where are we out of balance and how can we come back to center. And I'm gonna ask my daughters that too, like, where do things feel out of balance for you, and what would feel right, you know? So I just want to leave you with that question, like, where do things feel out of balance for you? And what do you need to, like, bring it back? Is there something you can do? Is there something you can invite another family member to do? Maybe it's not in your family environment where things feel out of balance, but another arena of your life. I think when we hit balance, and I think this is true for every part of our ecosystem that we live in, like, when things have the right balance, the right equilibrium, everything can function at its optimum level. And I think that's a space in which my husband can heal best in, and I think we all can mend our own hearts and minds and bodies and spirits in. So that is all I have for today, and I really thank you for being here. I think I'm going to put this one in the Cancer Journey post, and I really do thank you for being here and just being a part of this journey with us, and I really hope that these serve you in some way. All right, take care. Peace to you.